Going on, Rotogrinders? Dean here. It's Dean 7904 if you want to get all technical. I mean, that is daily fantasy handle around the industry. It is 5:30 on the dot on the East Coast, 2:30 West Coast, 4:30 Tennessee time. Hold on, I'll do it just for you, Grant. I know you're going to chime in and let the people know. If you're in the Pacific time
3:30 Mountain Time.
Oh yeah, Mountain Time. Shout out Mountain Time. The most it gets no respect, Mountain Time. Of course, then we're just time with the flagship show here at Rotogrinders.
There's really not too much here. I mean, most of the Mountain Time Zone sucks, except for beautiful Colorado.
Well, what do you mean? Is it also like Montana? Is that Mountain Time? I assume Montana would be Mountain Time. Yes.
I guess no. I think
Dakotas.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm ruined. Montana is Mountain Time. I mean, Utah. Who cares? Wyoming.
No cares. No's in Utah.
The weird thing is, I'm looking at the map right now. Part of Oregon is in Mountain Time Zone, which is ridiculous to me.
Well, the East, I would imagine, right?
Like, the far east part of Oregon. But I mean, Oregon's on the coast. They couldn't be more of a Pacific state. But yeah, apparently, like they're and then Idaho, like the northern half of Idaho is Pacific, and the southern half is.
It's gotta be a tricky thing where like I think there's some cities where like if you cross a bridge or whatever, like the time jumps an hour or goes back an hour.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing.
I mean, I know like going from Nashville to Chattanooga, you change time zones. Like just states, just stick with one.
Well, Nashville and Chattanooga are not like neighbors though. I'm talking about like
they're like 2 hours
changes.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still ridiculous to me that like just go by states, and also just get rid of daylight savings time.
Yeah, well, that was like a World War II thing, wasn't it? Wasn't that to kind of like have more sunlight so they can make more weapons? I feel like that's what it was.
I thought it was farmers.
Yeah. Well, farming. I think it was farming or something to do with the war. And it was like Franklin. Maybe no, that doesn't make any sense. I was gonna say he gets credit for it. Somebody Google that. Devin, producer Devin. Google. This is very important. I know you're doing lots of things.
Nothing else matters, Devin.
This is the last week of baseball. Devin's going to come on later in the show, and he's going to compile the questions from chat, of course. What up, chat? Do subscribe, turn on notifications, fire off whatever questions you may have. Mountain time type questions, things about daylight savings time, or, tonight's baseball slate. We have a 9-game baseball slate we'll be talking about. Give us the specifics as far as, your questions. Are they cash related? Who's playing cash these days? Oops, forgot to turn off my phone. My bad. Sorry about that.
You dummy.
Well, every once in a while, it'll sneak up on me. I had it on for I was trying to get some Tiger Woods NFTs, and I had like alarms, set. And
I've been there before.
Oh, geez, I've not won an NFT since like 1972. It's been a rough. Now I'm getting a phone call. Oh, you big jerk! Hey, I will turn this phone around and show the people your phone number, Grant. Don't make me do it.
Sorry, you have a droid that shows people's phone numbers. Still, get an iPhone.
The iPhone doesn't show the number of people? No,
it just says...
That's a perk?
Dummy Dean Shovelson on my phone.
All right. Yeah, well... By the way, mine says, for real, it says Grant, and in parentheses it says friend, ? That's what it says.
I remember when you made that.
Like,
made that change.
Yeah, because it probably said at one point like Grant RG, and then at some point we became friends? Question mark. Yeah. Hey Grant, we can talk baseball. We have plenty of time here. Obviously, it's a 9-gamer. These are the dog days. This is, I don't know, this might be my last show. I might be on tomorrow. I haven't checked the schedule just yet. It's a new month, so I have not looked at next month's schedule.
You know who's on tomorrow?
You?
And
me?
Yeah.
Oh, really? This isn't it? So this is like the what do they call it? The second to last episode. Oh, geez, I can't think of that word they say. No, man, there's a certain word. It's a long, fancy word, and I'm sure Devin knows it. Maybe he can jump on and say it.
The word I was gonna say was not suitable for YouTube.
I was thinking of in a film set, the final, the second to last shot is called the martini shot.
It was, I was thinking pre and then the opposite of go.
Yeah, maybe we don't.
This is gonna bother me. Somebody in chat tell me the word I'm thinking of. Like they say, this is like not the last episode, not the finale of a series, but like the second to last. Just the penultimum. Thank you. Penultimum. That's the word I was looking for in the chat. I thought it was a long, fancy word. It's a big word. Could not think of that for some reason. You guys, I thought for sure Devin had penultimum in his arsenal, in his bag, in his repertoire.
I can safely say that this is the first time I've used penultimum.
Yeah, it's a thing. All right. Hey Grant, let's talk some baseball. Let's talk tonight's 9-game slate.
All in on Scott Kazmir.
No. By the way, did you roster Tyrone Walker yesterday? I took a stand against Walker for the most part, and that did not.
Oh yeah, I had 100% Walker.
Oh, big jerk! I can't. You were a
okay.
Walker,
well, he still
donkey?
Lost me money because he couldn't get one strikeout in the last 3 innings.
Oh, was this a prop you had?
Yeah, I had over 5.5, and he had like 5 through like 4 1/3. Didn't get the 5th or the 6th.
Those Marlins are, I'm told, they're feisty.
They are feisty.
So tonight we're going to be talking about, this is kind of sort of a similar situation. It's not playing the role of Walker is one Dick Mountain, Rich Hill. Rich Hill is popping in the models for sure. And he's super cheap on DK. He's super cheap on FanDuel. I'm not sure how much you definitely need that salary. We have Nick Pavetto, who's also kind of sort of cheap as well. And
Nick Pavetto.
Nice. Why are you giving him that accent?
Because he's Italian.
You should be playing the voice of Mario, not Chris Pine, but you.
It's me, Mario. I'm gonna win.
Maybe you shouldn't. Is that who it is?
That was flawless.
No, Chris Platt. Is it Platt or which one of the Chris's am I thinking of? Who's the one that's playing the? Yeah. Oh, I was way off. I was close. Off by a letter. Lance McCullers, really good pitcher still. I imagine he gets in a reasonable amount of his full allotment of pitches, and of course Robbie Ray. Who is he? Is this like him pitching for the Cy Young? Essentially, is it already locked up, or like can it go the other way if he gets blasted?
I currently have Garrett Cole to win the Cy Young for $500. I'm trying to figure out if I should cash out for $150.
Well, it's an interesting thing because let me just go ahead and check this. This is kind of sort of, well, I'll check it in a second. Give me your thoughts as far as the pitchers in the slate, and how do you feel? You talked about Walker chalk yesterday. How do you feel about Rich Hill chalk today?
I mean, not great. Honestly, like it's against the Marlins. He's been pitching well recently. He's gotten up to 100 pitches. They have nothing to play for, so they might as well Rich Hill's probably done. Let's just let him pitch. So I'm probably eating it. I mean, there's other guys that I can go with. I mean, I don't mind swapping over to Pavetto at slightly less ownership, but honestly, I'm more on the Orioles than I am on Pavetto. Ian Anderson's kind of fine. Like, those are your pivots. I mean, what else are you going to do? Go down to Kazmir? Probably not a great idea.
No.
Go up to Kluber against Toronto? Probably not a great idea.
He's not going to throw enough pitches.
Yeah, Vince Velasquez? No, thank you.
No chance. He's facing the Dodgers, who are still, I think they're still hitting home runs in the 8th inning from last night. I think that's still happening. I don't know if you watched that going down, but that was pretty wild.
I mean, I got the alerts while I was trying to go to sleeps.
Oh, you get the alerts for every home run that's hit, right?
I set the RG home run tracker. I have it set to alert me every time there's a home run.
Yeah, you were trying to go to sleep at what time on the mountain time? Were you trying to sleep?
I had to wake up early this morning.
For what?
I looking for houses. It's a pain.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Rich Hill on the season, decent as far as the K percent, 22.2%. The walk's not great, 8.1%.
25% over the last month, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go to last month, I suppose you can do that. But
I mean, since he's come over to the Mets, I mean, it's a pretty big difference going from the Rays to the Mets. You're no longer in the toughest division in baseball, and you're getting rid of the DH. So I would say I take more of the AL stats than the NL stats, and AL or NL stats more than the AL stats. And AL stats not very good. NL stats good.
yeah, I mean, and the key part, of course, is a great pitching environment there in New York, and the Marlins are pretty awful.
Did you just stop talking?
Are you playing something? Is that? Oh, that's so weird. That's just me playing in my ear. Could you hear that or no?
No, I think you just have a tab open that started an ad.
Yes.
You freaking idiot.
Dean,
I was hearing my voice.
The people are gonna think you're wasted today. What's going on?
You're drunk. Give me your keys.
So it's funny because I had this Yingling Black and Tan that I brought for last Monday earlier this week, like 3 days ago. I was supposed to drink it on our show where we watched the football game, and I just never cracked it open and I never moved it. So it's still just sitting here. I'm sober is the point. I'm actually drinking a bottle of public spring water. There you go. It's almost finished. But yeah, no adult beverages for myself. But I just happened to have a page that was open that, I heard myself talking to myself and I'm like, what is going on? That was kind of sort of somewhat weird. And do I sound like that? I can't believe I sound like that. I apologize to everybody listening to me. I sound so much cooler in my head. So yeah, the Marlins are terrible. Rich Hill is fine and he should be okay. Probably won't win this slate for you, but he should be safe. And then, salary is pretty good, obviously. What about Pavetto? You said you like Baltimore already. You're not really on Pavetto at all?
I mean, let me see. Let me see if I have any shares in Pavetto. I don't think I do. It's not that he's a bad play. It's that I have to eat chalk one way or another. Mine's lineup up.
So while you're pulling it up, we can have Devin show off the play IQ as far as Pavetto versus Baltimore lineup. And good Lord, it is all red. It's all red with the exception of Mullins. Mullins is awesome. His teammates are terrible. On the season, Pavetto pretty good, 26.1% as far as strikeouts. The walks aren't great, 9.8%. But the key to that, besides Mullins, nobody else in this team walks. They collectively walk at 6.1%. That is dreadful. They strike out collectively at 27.3%. This is worse righties specifically this season. Now, there are some small samples in there as far as Nevin's in there. Jones, he's been up for about a month or so. He hasn't been great. He's had a little bit of power, a little bit of speed in the minors, but he's been overwhelmed so far in the majors. And just there's some power, of course, at the top of Mullins and Mountcastle and Hayes, but otherwise it kind of falls off. Even Mancini versus righties this year has not been good. And also Boston's fully incentivized. The deal with Boston, they're still battling for a playoff spot.
With who?
Toronto. Okay, and the Mariners too. It's a ridiculous victory lap you're trying to take to say, because I kind of threw, the Mariners aren't going to make the playoffs. They're still not going to make the playoffs. I will say, shout out to the Mariner fans. They showed out last game. They're going nuts. They're super excited. They haven't been to the playoffs since like 1972, more like 2000, right? Last time, 2001,
yeah, I think it was 2001. It's been
a long time. And they showed up in the game and they're excited. Kelnick had that big double, and it's cool, but it's not going to happen. But I wish them the best. But your Mariners are not going to make the playoffs this year.
Keep mushing it, you dumb.
Did you bet it or no?
I have money on the Mariners to win the World Series.
Oh, no. Why?
Oh, no. I got it at like 500 to 1.
All right. Is that the old Kevin Malone? If anybody offers you 500 to 1 in anything, just take it?
No, that's just they were actually in the playoff race, and it's baseball. Anything can happen. I don't think I put that's what free bets were made for.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I get you. What about Robbie Ray? By the way, I pull up the odds on the fly here. The DK Sportsbook, Robbie Ray, currently minus 600 to win the Cy Young. Garrett Cole is plus 450. If Ray gets absolutely shellacked, if he gets his face punched in here, maybe he falters back. And of course, Toronto essentially needs this game. They kind of sort of have to win this game to keep going as far as their playoff chase. That lineup is weakened with the absence of Voit, who went in the IL, the DL, and also who else is not in that lineup today? Gallo, which I kind of wanted to see Gallo in the lineup because, he's going to strike out a ton versus lefties. So, he has the power too, but whatever. I want the upside as far as strikeouts there. So talk to me about Robbie Ray. Got to assume, he's going to have his tight pants on and, he's got a chance to strike out 12, 13 and break the slate.
Yeah, no, he definitely does. And as of right now, I have 0 shares of him. It's not because of me disliking him. It's just the way that my lineup builds ended up going. But I have no problem playing Robbie Ray. He is going up against the Yankees. The Yankees are pretty darn good hitting the lineup. But Robbie Ray, outside of the last 2 starts, he was crushing it for a long time. fallen a little bit back to earth, but still same great pitcher. Very much a guy that can put up 30, 40 points in any given outing. They're obviously playing something. They're going to let him pitch deeper into the game if he's pitching well. And if he's pitching well, he's going to put up huge numbers. So it's kind of a boom bust spot here. And I think that both of them are just equally as likely. The fact that he's getting 27% ownership, don't know if I'm going to end up with too much of them. Like the price tag and the ownership kind of makes me think like you're fine with or without him. Like not really a huge lean either way.
Yeah, it's kind of this weird slate where I think there's 5, maybe 6 pitchers I'm willing the roster, and everybody else I'm crossing out. I'm willing the roster Ray. I'm willing the roster Hill.
There's exactly 6 that I'm willing to roster.
So it's Pavetto, Ray, Hill, McCullers. I think you can roster Anderson. He's really good of late. And the last one is one of the more interesting ones. It's Joe Ryan.
Yeah.
That's it, right? It's those 6 guys.
Guy's been striking out everyone. Granted, he's been an easy matchup, but he gets another easy matchup today going up against the Tigers. Tigers are a very high strikeout team. Main thing Ryan gives up is power. They don't have a ton of power, but it's like a mediocre matchup for that. So yeah, Ryan, like he could put up a big outing. I do like Anderson. I think Anderson's probably the best tournament play on the slate today. I mean, he draws a not great matchup going up against the Phillies, but I really don't care that much. He's been so good lately. Like he's been absolutely crushing it. Looking at his overall numbers on the season, not great, but he's got strikeouts, just boatloads of them in his last 3 starts, 8, 7, and 9. Going up against Arizona, San Francisco was the tough one, and Miami is an easy one.
This would officially clinch it for Atlanta, I believe, as far as winning the division. Philadelphia is still holding on to like a 1% chance.
Yeah. So
they'll unleash him mostly. Is kind of the point I'm making.
Yeah, most likely. And I mean, he's got under a 4 implied team total. You're getting him at 10%, sub 10% ownership. So I think that he's probably the top tournament play on the slate. I mean, but I'm not going to argue with any of those, 5, 6 or 6 pitchers.
Joe Ryan, the red flag on him is he's been absolutely phenomenal. He's been awesome. He led me to my season-long victory, the Rotogrinders season league.
Oh, what'd you win? Like $20?
At least, and I'm going to get a trophy case in my my Rotogrinders profile. That's priceless. You can't put a price on that. You don't have a trophy case.
I do. I have multiple live finals in there.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen. What was the last live final you been at? 2017, 2018?
2019.
Oh, what was it?
The FanDuel one.
Oh, how'd you do?
51st out of 100.
It's a good thing it wasn't a 50-50.
I've not done great in live finals.
You were at a golf live final not too long ago, right?
Yeah, I did. That was one of 2 that I got above the 50 percentile. I got 2nd out of 4. I can't tell you a single golfer that was in that lineup.
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah. I was just going to ask you that. I'm like, no, you're not going to know it. So Joe Ryan.
No, we got some prize picks. People asking about prize picks.
I was gonna get that today. Okay, you want to knock those out? By all means, we'll give the promo out there.
Yes.
Prize picks. Use the promo code. Get this Grinders Grinders with your first deposit for 100% deposit bonus. You get $100. Make up to $100. You deposit $100, you get a $100 deposit bonus up to 100%. Deposit 50, you get $50. That's how that works. And you have some winners for the people, right, Grant?
Yeah, Rich Hill over 5.5 strikeouts going up against Miami. Miami's a terribly high strikeout team. Rich Hill's been striking out guys recently. They'll let him go 100 pitch because his career is basically done. I would assume, I would hope. Honestly, he needs to put up his cleats. Ian Anderson over 5 strikeouts going up against Philly. You can get it at 4.5 on some gambling websites. I still like it at 5. And Joe Ryan over 5 strikeouts. Pretty solid overall spot going up against Detroit. He's been striking out everyone. High strikeout lineup. Get it at 5.5 at most gambling sites. So Ian Anderson's my least favorite because that's the one that's the farthest deviation from gambling sites. But I think there's heavy juice on the over of 4.5. So moving it up to 5 kind of makes sense to me. I'm assuming they just aggregate a lot of stuff.
So what I was going to say about Ryan is Minnesota's going nowhere. He's one of their arms of the future. There's no reason to push him. They haven't pushed him. Last time he was absolutely spectacular. He was cruising 11 strikeouts through 5. Before that, 5 innings. They stopped him at 67 pitches, 86 pitches the last time out. Before that, 67. Before that, 85. And he's been super efficient as well, too. I don't think he pitches beyond 5. Is kind of the point I'm making, but that doesn't mean you can't roster him.
Yeah, I mean, you can still strike. I mean, you don't have many choice. Again, you have 6 pitchers on this slate. So, what's the chances that he's the highest scoring pitcher? It's not actually that bad.
How old do you think Rich Hill is? You basically told him retire. How old do you think Rich Hill is?
43.
I think he's 41. Rich Hill turned 41 on March 11th. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at you trying to retire the guy over here. Yeah, and you're right. Ryan can strike out 9, strike out 10 in 5 innings, and it's possible even go 6. I don't think he will, but maybe he can. That doesn't mean you can't play him on FanDuel. And also his price is like not cheap like it once was. You know, he's 9.3 on DK, so it's a pretty full price tag. Bieber's an excellent pitcher, but it's really hard to see him pitching beyond what, like 55, 60 pitches or something like that.
Yeah,
they're asking full price.
He's not in play at all.
Gibson's okay. He's fine, but I'm not excited. Angel Zerpa is pitching throwing baseball.
Angel Zerpa. Why is everyone Italian?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Tony Gonsolin. Corey Kluber.
I don't. His accent is so bad, Grant. Velasquez and Gonsolin.
Would you believe I'm Italian?
I don't know if you are. Are you Italian? I don't think you are.
I don't know.
Are you like a European mutt?
Yeah, I'm a European mutt.
Yeah.
Long story. Adoption things. Not me, but one parents. Weird story, so not entirely sure. And I don't know if I trust that 23andMe.
Well, because once they get your DNA, who knows? All of a sudden now you're on like 48 hours or 60 minutes or one of those shows, and like you're being wrongfully accused.
I know several people who.
What?
Hey, you've got a brother, you've got a half brother, you've got a half sister.
Yeah, they need money in their.
It's not even they need money. It's like, oh, looks like Dad got around.
Which is possible in theory, I suppose, but yeah.
Oh, I've seen it.
What's the upside? Is kind of the question, right? What's the upside versus what's the downside? How about that? Has anybody in chat ever done that 23andMe and like was happy about it? They like their results.
I mean, my parent who was adopted,
yeah,
found her a whole bunch of half siblings, and yeah, I know. I'll tell you some stories afterwards.
All right. Is that for premium or is that just for me?
Yeah, I don't know. I assume that
Let's bring it up on the next Monday show.
Yeah, I guess that's what we can do.
We got 3.5 hours to fill.
I'll ask the people about it. I assume they won't care.
Yeah. So pitchers, what else is there to say? I'll take a look at the ownership here at DK, give it a refresh. It's pretty straightforward, like we kind of talked about, as far as you're either in the pool or you're out of the pool. There's very few that are kind of like just dipping their toes in. That's kind of sort of where I'm at. No. Why are you obsessed with Scott Kazmir? What year do you think we're playing baseball in today?
You mean the guy that's just throwing heat? Olympic silver medalist? I know one of the guys that was on that team.
Yeah. You know one of the guys you said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you want to say who it is, or you don't want to shame that person publicly?
Nah, I don't care. He's currently pitching over in Tokyo now, or he was beforehand.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So didn't even have to go too far. Just.
By the way, I think wasn't Joe Ryan on that team?
I think
Joe Ryan was on the Olympic team. You could do the Olympic team stack if you want to. I'm fairly certain Joe Ryan was. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. This is important. Yeah, I think he was on the. I'm pretty sure Joe Ryan was in that Olympic baseball team. So your Olympic stack. You don't really want to play Scott Kazmir, do you?
No.
Like, it's a cool story. He's still throwing baseballs. Like, good for him. And also, he's on a team that's winning. Like, he might be a part of a potential, World Series team. But we're not playing Scott Kazmir.
I don't see Joe Ryan on here. Ryder Ryan was on there.
No, Joe Ryan, one-time Olympian, 2020.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I don't make this stuff up.
It was all the way at the bottom. And Shane Baz.
Baz is awesome too.
Yeah.
Do you know that? I mean, I'm sorry if there's any Pittsburgh fans out there, if there's any Pirates fans out there. So the Pirates traded with Tampa, and Tampa gave them Chris Archer, and they got back Baz and Meadows and the dude that's amazing that's hurt his arm. He'll be back next season, possibly maybe the season after that. Why am I forgetting his name? Glasnow, Baz, and Meadows were a broken down Chris Archer, who what is back on Tampa.
Pretty much likely Cy Young caliber arm and an actual Cy Young caliber arm.
It's one of the worst trades in like the last 10, 15, 20 years or something like that.
Yeah, for Archer, who's now back on the Rays, I think.
Yeah. That's what I said. You never listen to me.
Yeah, I don't listen to you.
general rules, just never trade with Tampa. Like if Tampa calls, just straight to voicemail. Don't trade with Tampa unless it's like William Adamas.
No, it's you take the call. You say, okay, who are you interested in? Okay,
extend
call another
that guy.
team. Hey, FY, this guy, Tampa's interested. You want him?
Give me the summary. Oh, I actually didn't want to check as far as the ownership stuff. If you guys want to use this at your own leisure, you know how you do that, Grant. You get yourself Rotogrinders Premium. You get the lineup HQ, the slate IQ, all the articles. You get the videos that are coming out after us. Crunch time. You get Kevin Ross Tool. The ownership stuff. Yeah, I know. I knew it. Once I said that, I was like, yeah, that was a mistake. His weather
I'm
tool.
Sleepy.
Words are important. Rich Hill, we're currently projecting at 44% ownership on DK. Right behind that, Robbie Ray at 27, Pavetto at 27, Ryan 23, McCullers 21, Bieber at 11. No chance I roster him. Edward Cabrera's he's a legit prospect, but he's not shown it just yet for what it's worth. I guess as a punt, I'm okay with it, but I don't know how much I need it.
Oh, someone asked if we're brothers.
Who's more insulted by this?
I don't know, you being the DeVito.
I'm the junk that's left over. They didn't say twins, they just said brothers. Yeah. All right.
My glorious mane. Like,
Joe
you can't
Ryan
grow a
came with a
full
raise.
head of hair, or you can't grow a full beard.
I can't, no. Yeah, I gotta do that to Ancestry 23 or whatever that is. What is it, you and me or 23 and me? Get angry about. I can't grow it. It's a according to the chat, Dustin's saying that Joe Ryan was on the Rays, so maybe the Rays do screw up. I didn't know that.
I mean, depends. Let's see.
Well, I mean, I don't think they would make that up. That's a weird thing to just make up.
No, I mean,
what are you checking to see what they got?
They got Nelly Cruz.
Oh, is that what that was? Really? I
Yep.
didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a fair trade, I suppose. The chat saying we're Mario and Luigi. You're Mario, I suppose.
I'm Luigi.
Is Luigi better than Mario?
He's taller.
Is he?
Yes, significantly.
Yeah, but Mario gets the princess, right?
I mean, you can have the princess. I'll take
Peach?
Princess Daisy.
Who's Princess Daisy?
She's the other princess. The only reason I know that is from Mario Kart.
I don't remember Princess Daisy. I remember Peach or Toad.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Daisy's kind of like the counterpart, like Waluigi is to Luigi. Except
is that like a Wario
evil.
thing? Is that, there's a Luigi version
You're
of Wario?
killing me here, Dean.
Yeah, Dean, you are 100% Wario.
Oh my god.
Wait, I'm aware of Wario, but you're saying there's a Wario version of Luigi? They made this?
Waluigi.
Did not know this. I love an N64, whatever the kids play Nintendo on these days.
Wii.
Like PlayStation. All right.
Yeah, Princess Daisy. I'm more of a fan of brunettes anyways. So.
What is Daisy's a brunette?
Yeah, she's Princess Peach's best friend.
Okay. I'm not aware of Princess Daisy. I'm not updated on my full Mario, I suppose. Donkey Kong was always the one to play with in Mario Kart, right? That was kind of
it looks like Daisy is Luigi's girlfriend.
There you go. It all works out in the end. Give me a summary. We're off the rails. It's the last week of baseball, but have fun with this chat. Yeah, fire up some questions. Devin's compiling and we'll join the show in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to talk about stacks in just a second. Grant, give me the summary as far as pitchers. Again, we've kind of alluded to it several times. It's pretty straightforward. The weird thing is, I don't have anybody necessarily way ahead of everybody else.
No, it's just whoever fits. Like, literally, you take Ray, McCullers, Ryan, Anderson, Pavetto, and Hill. Whichever two of those fit, go with those.
Let's see. I mean, I'm going to try to prioritize Ray in tournaments. I'm not playing cash games today. Just not doing it, and partly because of this reason. I love Ryan as well too. I'm going to try to make Ryan and Ray, and just that feels like a pretty good
the best
stack.
move to do with pitching is to pay up at two pitchers. Like, avoid the Hill and Pavetto chalk.
I mean, or you can kind of sort of make your stack and whatever fits. That's another thing.
That's also what you can do. That's what I just said.
Oh, well, you know what? Sometimes I don't listen either. All right. Talking about stacks. It feels like every single day this week it's been going on. It's been Groundhog Day. But Boston and Baltimore is the clear number one stack on the board. And then there's the Dodgers right there against Vinny Velasquez. Are you combing your beard?
Yeah, because you can't grow a beard.
Is this you talking
Jealous?
me?
Jealous? Oh, you like that. Look at this walrus
Is that exclusively for your beard? Is that what it is? Like they sell items just for like a beard comb?
Yeah,
Is that what
beard
it looks
brush.
like? That looks like something you'd put on a cat. Is
Ow.
that looks like a cat brush?
And one of the houses we visited today, just apparently cat piss does not go away.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be there for like.
You seem like a
8 years
cat
or so.
guy.
I mean, I don't want to choose in cats and dogs. I like them both. I know you're supposed to like love one and hate the other one. I did grow up with cats, but I
You seem
in a
like a
pinch.
guy who grew up with cats. Explains a lot about you.
How do I seem like that kind of? What's that kind of guy like?
Tevin.
Devin's a cat guy.
He is a cat guy.
All right. Talk about some stacks today. What are you doing with Boston? Boston obviously super chalky.
I'm
The
fading
Dodgers are right
Boston.
there lurking. What?
I'm fading Boston.
Because
Because they're chalky. Well, let's see. No, actually,
what if you get like two pitchers that like two of the less likely if you're not playing Hill, who's going to be
actually,
reasonably
I guess I
expensive?
do have one Boston stack. I mean, you can fade him, you can play him. Like they haven't been doing great recently. They're the chalk for a reason, though. Wells is not a good pitcher. He's just bad. There's a lot of hard hitting righties. I mean, Bogarts, Hernandez, Renfro, JD, like all very, very solid options. All of them can hit a bomb. They're playing over in Baltimore. It's not great hitting weather, but it's not terrible hitting weather. Like there's top stack on the slate outside of maybe the Dodgers going up against Velasquez, who gives up a ton of power, and they obviously can all hit the ball in the ballpark. Velasquez, main thing he does is strikes guys out. Dodgers don't strike out at a huge clip. So it's just those two are by far the top stacks on the slate. The only reason to fade him is because of ownership. And I'm leading more towards that. Interesting one is going up against Scott Kazmir, your favorite baseball player that you love.
Well, you mentioned Velasquez strikes guys out. Okay, he's got a 24% K percent. Let's not get too excited about that. That's fine. But he's not like it's this K savant that we're afraid of necessarily. All green. If you pull up the plate IQ, like the Dodgers are protected lineup here against righties. It's awesome. Bellinger probably back in the lineup. We shall see. Stay tuned on that. Lux did run into the wall last night, so he probably is not playing baseball. He's currently in the projected lineup, but we shall see. Stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and give a refresh on Twitter to see. It's possible that Dodger lineup has since come out. We got the Pirates. We got the Indians. No Dodgers just yet. But it's going to be good. Spoiler alert. It's a weird thing as far as the slate because there's a lot of good offenses that are going to be ignored, right? Like the Astros are a good offense. They're going to be ignored. Yarbrough has just been pummeled for the most part of late. Not a great ballpark, only 8 innings of their winning, but still. The Astros are a good offense. Toronto, good offense, mostly ignored. Yankees, good offense, mostly ignored. And it's some leverage against Robbie Ray. The Braves, good offense. And like we're all going to be playing, at least according to the ownership stuff, Dodgers and Boston. It all kind of makes sense, but just sort of an interesting observation, I think, as far as the slate, that there are a lot of good pivots. Like you're actually rostering real live good players. It's not like you're playing Pittsburgh or Arizona. I mean, you can, or the Marlins. You could be different and get good players is kind of the point I'm making as far as stacks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Marlins are a bad play. Honestly, lefties, the Mets are cheap enough. They're not a bad play. You can go with Toronto. You can go with the Yankees, both against tough pitchers, but both can absolutely crush. Astros going up against Yarba. Yarba has been great recently. Like they're good offense. They can end up crushing. Two offenses that I'm looking at that are real low owned that I'm really liking. Diamondbacks going up against old man Scott Kazmir.
You really like the Diamondbacks? Like really like them?
It's mostly mini stack. Like I think my main Diamondbacks lineup, like Varsho, Cattell, Walker, Henry Ramos is super cheap. Kelly, like you can get the catcher out of the way with a good hitting catcher. Like both Kelly and Varsho are both very good hitting catchers. Marte's just straight up a good hitter, and then Walker or Ramos are both very, very cheap. So it kind of makes things work. Like that's the one spot I do have a Boston stack is with the Diamondbacks. But like the other interesting one is Baltimore. Like Pavetto, he's not a great pitcher. Like he's struggles.
Mullins, that's it.
Mountcastle
is so good.
Mountcastle's pretty good.
No, he's
Mountcastle. Hayes is pretty good. Like I know his numbers versus righties aren't great, but you take his assuming he has some regression going on both sides versus lefties and Rays because he's destroyed lefties. And Pavetto, he's really more of a reverse splits guy than anything. Gives up a whole lot more power to righties than he does to lefties. Strikeout rates similar to both sides, a little bit more wild versus lefties. Like, he's kind of a reverse splitsy guy, splits neutral guy. So I'm not really paying too much attention to handedness. And he's a below average pitcher that just has decent strikeout stuff. That's going to be 27% owned. So you get the leverage. The current ownership for Baltimore, like outside of Mullins, no one's over 6%. Maybe I guess Mancini is, but the easy way to fade that is Mountcastle, who's the better hitter right now. So, I mean, it's just a spot where you're getting leverage with a good, like an actual decent hitting team. Better versus
I will agree, by the way,
lefties.
Arizona, I was taking a look at those prices. They are, Christian Walker's been dreadful this year, but historically he's shown some power, 2.4K on DK at first base, batting fifth. And Carson's got a reasonable price, batting cleanup. And Carson has walloped, like absolutely pummeled lefties this year. If you pull up the plate IQ, he's been awesome. I don't hate like a little mini stack there for Arizona. You talked me into it a little bit.
Yeah. Suck it, Dean. I'm very convincing.
Yeah, very, very persuasive.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, like Marlins against Chalk-Rich Hill, you can do it, but it's not like it's in a great ballpark.
Lewin Diaz is really cheap. He's got some power.
Phillies versus Ian Anderson, probably not. Like Bieber in 4 innings against the Royals. I mean, you're probably not taking anyone outside of Salvi, who's just. I hope he gets 50. I really hope he gets 50. Like,
He's back in. Yeah, he left yesterday's game. He banged out a homer, left the game with an ankle, and he's still on pace to just miss one game the entire season. As a catcher, he's not catching every single game. Obviously, he's DHing a ton. I haven't looked, but I presume he's got to be DHing tonight, right?
Yeah.
I assume he's DHing.
Gallagher's in, so he's DHing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I can't imagine they put him on the plate anymore.
I mean,
just
another interesting stack is Cleveland. Like Zerpa, when
he's not pitching long, he's pitching like 2 or 3 innings or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, in the minors they only let him go like 3 or 4. But yeah, I mean, he went from AA to AAA. The Royals bullpen's not great. I mean, the price tags outside of Franmil and Reyes, like all cheap bats going up against the lefty, like always chance with a hook, but like you can make the Cleveland stack work pretty easily.
Do you have a favorite hitter in the Yankee Toronto game? What are you doing with that game? Because
Vlad, I'm avoiding it though.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like it could be 3-2, or it feels like it could be 7-6, and yeah, I mean, I'm going to be playing some Ray. Probably that's mostly it. More on the Toronto side than on the Yankee side as far as hitters, but like Stanton and Judge, when they're low owned on a slate that's not even full, just 9 games. It's not the traditional Yankee lineup. There's some guys that are not in that lineup. We talk about Gallo missing. We talk about Voit going on the IL. They're running out 2 catchers, Sanchez and Higashioka. Not really sure which one's DHing. Doesn't really matter so much. Yeah, left on left versus Rizzo, who hasn't been great this year. It's just interesting that game's going to be mostly neglected from a hitter stance, but I totally get it. Is there anything else that's worth kind of focusing on, or shall we bring Devin in? Devin's been compiling questions from chat, and who knows what sort of shenanigans we'll get into. What did I ask Devin to Google when he was producing the show? Oh yeah, we had did you happen to, Devin, you happen to get the information as far as the birth of daylight savings time?
Man,
the origin story?
No, I totally missed that. I honestly don't even remember. I haven't had a moment where I wasn't paying attention to the show. I don't even remember you guys talking about daylight savings time.
Are you serious?
You guys went off on some weird tangents.
Yeah, we did.
Well, yeah, we were talking about Super Mario. It's, Devin, come on, man. It's like the second to last show of baseball. We've been doing this for 6 months and saying the same things over and over
when
again.
People kick back, this is the time for you to grip the steering wheel.
In 1895, George Hudson, an ethnologist from New Zealand, came up with the modern concept of daylight savings time.
Yeah, I have Google too.
He'd have more after-work hours of sunshine to go hunting in the summer.
YouTube is just like hovering over that eject button. Like,
is that a thing? I'm talking about bug hunting. Is that a thing? Like either one of those, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I used to hunt bugs as a kid.
Like with what?
A net.
With my hands.
Well, Devin, of course, knows. He's in like the
Of course,
I'd catch praying manti. I'd catch scorpions.
You've been bug hunting before? I don't know what bug hunting is. I've never heard of
I
that.
grew up like the field I grew up next to later on in life had a whole bunch of praying mantises, so we'd go catch them. And then I grew up in Central Oregon in high desert.
Dean,
Trail right behind us had scorpions all the time.
Dean, just crack open a book maybe one of these days.
Yeah, you not nerd.
Well, tell me to go like camping or something like that. I want to actually do it. I don't.
No, crack open a bug hunting book and
says
learn
bug
yourself.
humping isn't better than bug hunting. Yeah, I would assume like you're probably gonna get stung on the pee hole.
Yeah, I mean it seems like a reasonable. I can't say I partook in either, but I would lean to agree.
I
mean, there's always the chance that you turned over in your sleep with the spider there.
You guys, we gotta save this for Monday. I'm wanting to go off on tangents, and we don't have time for tangents.
This is the kind of stuff we talk about on Monday. Actually, it's actually not that far off.
So we'll start with the stacks game. Before we do that, Dean, let's do some what am I thinking? DK cash
like a
breakdown.
cash game rundown.
Yeah.
Okay, so full disclosure, I'm not playing cash, but if I were,
you're going Hill, and you're probably just pick one of those other guys, but most likely Ryan, catcher.
Well, I'd probably try to again. It's wide open. It's Hill, Pavetto, McCullers, Ray, Ryan. If you want to play any of those two, I'm okay with it, but it's probably Hill and Ray for me. Probably.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, like depending on what build you want, if you're going to pay up for bats, which is probably the smart move, you go Hill. You go Hill, you go Pavetto. Then at catcher, you probably go Will Smith. At first base,
I would say it's Kelly. or all the way up for Perez. Carson Kelly is only 3.3K on the road batting cleanup.
Yeah, first, I don't know. Mancini is actually not a bad option. Second, probably Trey Turner, Marte, or that's it.
That's it.
Third
it's
base,
Turner Marte.
Yeah, third base, it's Devers or Jose Ramirez if the weather's all right, or you pay down a little bit for Donaldson if you can't afford him. Shortstop, like Bogarts is the guy. Yeah. Outfield, like
it's
Renfro.
Boston.
Yeah, it's Boston guys. You can go with Buxton if you want. It's not a bad move, but it's Boston outfielders.
Michael Conforto is like 2.3 on FanDuel, and he's 2.9 or 2.8 on DK. He's my favorite.
2.6.
What? Is it 2.6?
I don't know. I'm checking now.
Oh, do I get my prices wrong? I think it's 2.3 on
2.8.
FanDuel.
You're right. Wow. First time in your life you've been right.
And you know what? Blind squirrel. Yeah, and and like of course the outfield again. Kike, Schwarber, Renfro, JD Martinez. You could play all Red Sox in the outfield as far as the cash game. I'm good with that. But there you go. Devin, you want to play a stack game?
Let's play some stacked games for the new listeners out there.
Someone said they used an ice pick to poke holes in the lid so the bugs can breathe. Who owns an ice pick? I've never once owned an ice pick.
Sharon Stone, I believe, has one.
Like,
guys, save it for Monday.
Anytime I go into a house and someone's like, "Yeah, grab the ice pick," I'm like, "This person's a murderer."
It's a very old reference for people out there.
I don't know if I've actually ever held an ice pick in my hand, so fair enough.
You've gone bug hunting?
Of course I've gone bug hunting, Dean. I had a childhood. Let's play stacks games for the new listeners.
Yeah, I think in Florida they just went gator hunting.
We're never going to make it to stacks.
No.
Primary number. First number is your ranking for primary stack. Second number is ranking for secondary.
I thought primary numbers were like 1, 3,
7.
5, 7.
Grant. Giants.
Giants, 3-3.
Yeah, we're probably going to get some righty mashers like your Darren Ruffs and your Wilmer Floreses of the world for Mad Bum, and who knows, might get some guys flipped in, flipped out. But they did lose Belt, which kind of hurts them as far as their depth. I know I'm giving a long answer, but I'm
we could go through this quickly. Just give a number.
Yeah, but I'm also adding some color to it, like some context.
You're adding some meaningless color.
No, somebody was thinking, what about Darren Ruff? Is he going to be in the lineup? Probably, but he might also get the hook later on in the game. 3-3.
All right. Moving on to the second stack of the stack.
Are you anti-color? You don't want to add some color?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, wow, we've gotten through one. Dodgers, Dean.
Yeah, the Dodgers are really, really good tonight. I don't care about Vinny Velasquez. Is 24% K rate. I will say it's a 5 out of 5. It's the Dodgers and Boston, and it's everybody else, and it's just how you want to react to it as far as ownership.
5-5.
5-5. Red Sox, Grant.
4-4. I like them, but they're going to be highly owned.
Yeah, 5-5. I like the Red Sox. Duh.
Braves, Dean.
Yeah, I like them too. They're right there in that next sort of tier. I would say 3.5 and 4.
3-3.
Padres, Grant.
2-2.
It's a dead team, man.
They don't care anymore. They are destroyed.
That's a mush, ladies and gentlemen.
Machado was taunting the Dodgers, like the Dodger crowd last night after he hit a home run, and it's like, somebody tell Machado what a disaster your team has been.
Mm-hmm.
Like, good for him, he homered, but your team is,
I mean, when we're talking about like talent, they're what, top 4?
Well, I mean, they've had some injuries too, but yeah, they have a really
doesn't matter.
team.
Just like
it's disappointing, very disappointing.
Dean, give us your mush ranking already.
I will say 2 and 3. There's a couple Padres.
I'm glad you mushed them because I don't mind them as a mini stack. Twins, Dean.
That is a dog.
Yeah, the Twins are right there with Atlanta for me. Skewball's going to go like maybe probably 3 innings. That's what Detroit's doing this point this season. That's the bullpen. I like Minnesota a good bit. 3.5, 4.5.
4-4.
Baltimore, Grant.
5-4.
No.
Imagine
playing 5 Orioles.
Oh gosh, there's my mush I was hoping for.
Dean's just mushing left and right.
I will say 1.5, and then Mullins. It gets me up to 3.
All right, there you go. Got a 3 for Mullins. Miami, Dean, your Marlins.
Yeah, they were never were. I do like. Lewin Diaz to crack the lineup for sure. But they're all the good hitters are lefties. It's 1.5 and 2.5. Like, I can't get too enthused about this.
4-1, just because of the leverage off of Hill.
All right, Diamondbacks, Grant.
2-4.
Yeah, Grant kind of sort of convinced me, and I think Arizona's pretty interesting. So 2.5, 3.5.
I worry. What's their ownership look like? They're not too bad. Right?
Nothing. Like,
people don't like playing them, but they are salary savers on DK. Like, there's some really Ramos is 2.1K.
Ramos will be owned, but everyone else is like 1-2% out.
No, Walker's going to be owned too. He's like popping in cash models right now. He's super cheap.
Really? We haven't projected at 1%, but I guess that could be updated.
It could update, yeah.
It's going to change. Cleveland,
Dean.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same old Cleveland. Like, you like 3 guys, but not 5 guys. So it's 2-3.
2-2.
And Yankees, round it off.
2-2.
Yeah. You can homer hunt. So I'll say 2.5, 3.5. Ray's going to give up a homer. Maybe 2.
Maybe 2. Dean, you want to touch on umpires, extremes?
Yeah, there was nothing really. Just one game as far as extreme umpires. I think I mentioned it before, but if those that are trickling in. Extreme pitchers umpire for Tony Gonsolin and Vinny Velasquez, the Dodger game. Otherwise, there's no more.
He prefers to be called Vincent
Vega.
Excuse me. Grant, this one's for you. Alan wants to know Ray over 7.5 Ks and Ryan over 5 Ks. I know Ryan was...
I have Ryan over 5 Ks. Ray, I'm not touching that line. It's where it should be.
All right. Michael in chat was saying Slate IQ's telling me that Boston's expected to be less than 6% owned as a 4 or 5 hitter stack. Am I crazy or is that crazy?
I mean, you don't have any cheap pitchers. So, I mean, unless they're pairing them with Arizona or Cleveland cheap bats, it's tough to do, which is why I'm pairing it
Rich Hill's
with Arizona.
Cheap.
Huh?
Rich Hill is cheap.
I mean, I have a 5-man Boston stack with Rich Hill and Pavetta, and I had to throw Varsho, Walker, and Martin.
Do you think that's going to be different? That feels like pretty kind of sort of somewhat obvious, no?
I mean, to play Arizona? No, that's not obvious.
Well, no, I'm saying Arizona's not terrible if you're getting decent pitchers and the clear best stack. No? Maybe I'm wrong on this.
We'll see if I get duplicated.
Hey, I just got a tweet. Season-long football question. Would you trade Woods? Would you start Woods or Chase this week? Chase is playing versus the Jags tonight.
Yeah, Chase.
Do you have a take as far as the game tonight? And if you guys are out there watching later on, it's going to be Blender. Grant, insert your Blender impression here.
Just play them. Play them where you want.
And SDL cards. Do you have an SDL cards impression in your repertoire?
Farm accounting.
Blender and SDL cards will be on later. Talking the showdown slate. What time is that? Like 7:15, 7:30? What time?
7:30.
7:30. Taking you guys straight up to lock, so hang out for that. In between that, of course, is crunch time if you guys are premium members. What was your question, Devin? Or you have more questions?
No, well, I was on that Slate IQ question. We touched on it, and then you went into a plug, which was just perfect, Dean. Home run calls? Yeah, got one?
Grant just texted me and said, mute your phone. What a jerk.
That's
Wait, you just got that now?
Funny. I'm
like Android, I guess. Yeah,
I said that like 10 minutes ago.
Maybe I do need to join an Apple. Team
yes,
Apple.
you do.
Yeah.
Home run calls, gentlemen.
Cattell Marte.
That's it. Anybody else going to homer tonight?
Drop the mic.
Mountcastle and Mullins. Marte, Mountcastle, Mullins.
I've been banging the Mullins drum all game, and now you're going to steal them from me?
I've been banging the Orioles thing. Did you do the expert survey today? Did you put Mullins as your top tournament play today?
I did not.
I don't think you did. So suck it, Dean.
Dean, you did mention Houston. I was going to say that. I think that's probably a good. We didn't touch on that in the stack ranks. What are the ranks for that one?
They're a weird one because
it makes sense to pivot from Boston to them.
Yeah, there's plenty of talent there.
F it, I'm doing that. I'm going no Red Sox. I'm swapping them all over to Houston because I am a genius in the voice of our generation.
Not my generation. Bregman's going to homer. Mullins is going to homer again. Michael Conforto is going to bang one out versus Edward Cabrera. Well, you know who we didn't talk about who's like a contrarian play in this slate is Bryce Harper, future MVP. Bryce Harper. Like, people aren't going to be playing him. He's super expensive. I don't think they're stacking Philadelphia, but maybe it's just an a la carte. Play him a la carte. Play him by himself. Bryce Harper's going to hit one out tonight, right, Grant?
Look at that.
Yeah. Potential MVP. No, I wish someone would have told me.
I did tell you. I tried to get you to make money on it, and you just wouldn't listen to me.
I've never listened to you in my life. I'm not going to start now.
Well, it's cost you American dollars.
No, it's probably the long run, like one game sample size, baby. Run, it's definitely helping. The
Dodger lineup is out. Betts, Seager, Turner, Muncy, Will Smith, Justin Turner, Taylor, Bellinger. As predicted, no Lux. Yeah, Bellinger will be jumping in there, and no Lux because he banged his head off the wall last night.
And we're at the end of the show, so go ahead and take us home, Dean.
Who's on Crunch Time tonight?
Roth is back from his short hiatus, along with one Mr. Tuttle and one Cheese is Good.
Is Roth okay? I didn't check in. I don't know why he.
I forget the circumstances, but no, he asked me last week if he could have Monday through Wednesday off. It might have been something.
Probably just grinding MLB season for 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't wait another few days. I'm sure he had a reasonable issue.
I'm burnt out. I mean, with football going on too, he's working overtime.
I couldn't tell from the show, Grant, that you're burnt out talking about baseball. You did it so well.
Is that sarcasm? I don't know.
That was Grant. That was Devin. Thank you, Chad, for putting up with our nonsense. Not just tonight, for all season long. We do appreciate that. Hit the like button on your way out. Do subscribe. Do turn on notifications. Tons of football content around the corner. And we'll be running it back tomorrow. And the sequel, they say, sequel's never worse than the original. Oh, wait, it always is. So stay tuned for that. It should be a disaster tomorrow.
Tell that to Terminator 2.
I'll tell it to Weekend at Bernie's 2. How about
tell that to Rush Hour 2.
Gosh, you know it was great. Rush Hour 3.
Devin's favorite movie of all time is Rush Hour. We'll leave on a high note.
It's a great movie.
That's actually a fact. All right, y'all. Like, subscribe, notifications. Grant, Devin, baseball, Dean, holler. Kick it.